man, they're all over the world today. So look, guys, Tunisia. My people grew. Actually, I am Tunisian. I'm part Tunisian. The Italians came from the Tunisian people, and so while my family thinks they're Italian, they're really Tunisian. But anyway, that's for another discussion. I am a man of planet Earth. I consider myself male, female, white, brown, black, young, old. I ain't gonna claim the fat because I don't like that. I need to stay in shape because I don't want to carry that extra weight with me. And hope you guys are doing great today. I love you guys. Appreciate you being here. We want to talk to you about something today that has changed my life. Pete's going to come in here and rock it for you. He's in our Miami studio. I had an emergency trip that I came on, and so I'm in Tampa, Florida today. A couple of things we want to talk to you about today is really the one thing is one of the hacks that I have found in my business, and whether you guys are following me on YouTube or Instagram or wherever you found me or discovered me, look, all the channels that we do are for you, to help you guys. And so, Penny Fleming probably found me in a different place than Jake did. I don't know where you guys find me, but our goal is to be, we're on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We do short reels, long reels. I write articles. I really don't care how you guys found me or where you found me. Typically, when somebody finds me one time, then they end up looking at a second thing and a third thing and a fourth thing. How many of you discovered me on YouTube and then you just binged? You looked at a second video and a third video and a fourth video. Just post that in the chat. So that's a hack, right? Some of you found me on Audible. Some of you found me at Borders, the bookstore. Some of you found my book on Amazon, or you heard my audio program, right? Or you saw some free webinar that we did. So today we're really talking to you today about, maybe you saw me on a TV show called Undercover Billionaire. Or I was in a speaking gig. So today what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to get known, all right? How many of you have a message that you think would benefit other people? If you think you have a message that would benefit other people, I do. Yes, I do. I do. I do. Okay, so now, good. So you know you have a message. Now, you probably haven't figured out how to craft the message exactly. And then, Johnny, let me know when Pete's there, all right? You probably haven't figured out how to craft the message yet. More importantly than crafting the message is figuring out, okay, where can I deliver this message? How can I deliver this message? I've already mentioned some of the mechanisms that you can use. I started social media the same way everybody does. You don't have any followers when you start unless you're a big celebrity and you put your name on there and you're like, okay, my name's Mike Tyson. You're going to have a bunch of followers the same day you put your name up there. But most of us don't come to the game with. We don't come to the game with fame, and we don't come with money. So I came to this game with no real talents. I'm not a basketball player. I didn't know any celebrities. Nobody knew me, but I did have this one thing in my heart that was like, okay, I want to take care of myself and my family. I want to have a purpose. I want to do something to contribute, and I want to help people. So then I'm like, okay, how do I, and Pete's going to come in today and talk about how to craft the message. But no matter how good you craft your message or how good your product or service is, if you don't have a distribution point, if you have no place to actually tell your story, it won't matter. About 8 years ago, I discovered webinars. One of the things we're going to focus on today is how to do webinars that build an audience. If you guys are taking notes, the purpose of the webinar is to build an audience, to 2, fund the building of the audience, and to 3, to monetize. The funding of the audience is different than monetizing. Monetizing is where you're actually making money now that you can build your business and actually start scaling your name and your brand. This will work, by the way. What we're going to share with you today will work with tangibles, intangibles. I've sold both of them. it will a tangible is a pair of sunglasses. I want to sell a pair of sunglasses. Okay, that's a tangible. An intangible would be insurance, mortgages, real estate listings, life insurance, intangibles. Raising money on the internet. I've raised $1.1 billion on the internet doing webinars. Products. Most of the products that we sell are not t-shirts. Like we sell these t-shirts, Peace 11 Cash Flow. You can find it at grantcardone.com. That's a tangible, right? But so, I might wear this in a webinar and like people are going to be like, I'm going to go buy that. There's no real money in that unless you're going to build a business out of t-shirts. You could. I don't know what we sold in t-shirts last year, but it was probably some number. Insignificant compared to some of the other stuff that we do. But webinars I was turned on to webinars. I had written 5 books. I had spoken at, let's see, 8 years ago. I'm 57 years old. I bet you I had spoken since I was 27 years. I bet you I had spoken 5 or 6,000 events that I was paid to speak at. Another 50,000 events, at least, that I was not paid to speak at. I'm basically going door to door or going anywhere I could back in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, before the internet, before social media, before webinars were even possible. And I would travel all over the country. No telling how much money I spent just in travel. Not to mention the distress of not being with my family and having friends and just being on the road all the time like a vagabond. So, a guy introduced me to webinars 8 years ago. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. What is a webinar? Okay. Well, it comes from seminars delivered over the World Wide Web. Okay. It was a made up name, really. It's how do you deliver a seminar or a speech over the web, over the internet, right? So I said, dude, webinar, what is it? And he told me what it was. And somebody said the chat is fake. I hope it's not fake. Dude, if you're a fake, throw I am a fake in the chat. Okay, people won't even write that down. They're like, I ain't telling anybody I'm a fake. Of course, see, they're real. This is real, right? This chat is real. So this guy told me, he's like, hey, man, do the webinar. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot, dude. It didn't sound real to me. Me and him did it. We did a split. We actually had a product. We had a 90-minute, I think it was a 90-minute, maybe a 100 minutes, about an hour and a half, a little over an hour and a half. And we offered a product at the end and we split the proceeds. I made $35,000. It was $70,000 made. And I was shocked. This is 9 years ago. It was a Saturday afternoon. I was in Miami. I know the exact office I was in. I remember the car that I was driving at the time. I drove home. We started at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I was done at 1:30, maybe 1:40, got in my car. I'm driving home and I'm literally trembling. And I'm like, I called my sister. I had to talk to somebody. You know, if you've ever been really super excited, you don't want to keep it to yourself. I'm like, I got to call Carl, man. Carl, you never believe this. I mean, I called 2 or 3 people. They didn't answer. So I finally got my sister. And my sister, I said, sis, I just made $35,000. She's like, okay, well, why is that? Why are you telling me that? I didn't leave home. I did it in 90 minutes. Okay. I had already done the math. Okay. $35,000. This was the most amount of money I had ever made in my entire life in 90 minutes. And it wasn't even a good webinar, by the way. Let me just tell you guys this. This is the worst webinar I've ever done, divided by 90. That's $388 a minute. I'd never been paid that much money in my entire life. I remember I used to do speaking gigs for $500 for 8 hours. That's where I got started. That was my fee when I was 31 years old. $500, 8 hours. And I had to travel there to do the deal. So when I walked away from that webinar, now this is probably, I don't know if Jared's over there, somebody can tell me. I'll bet you this is 100 webinars ago, meaning I've done 100 since then. And in this 8 years, my company has probably made more money doing webinars. Pete, I don't know if you can pop in and just have a conversation with me about it. And Pete, you know other guys that do these. I think it'd be fair to say that I probably made more money than anybody in the world doing webinars. What do you think?
Anybody. When you take in how much you've raised online in real estate, you've probably sold hundreds of millions in education, but you've probably done $1 billion just from webinars online, pretty close to it, just in real estate.
Tim Story, my friend Tim Story, super cool dude. If you guys don't know who Tim is, I did a 20-minute webinar with Tim Story and sold 30,000 books for him. I sold more books for somebody else. Okay, I didn't get paid anything on it. I just did it as a favor to my friend. Everything that they did, every release they didn't sell 30,000 books. So we've sold books online. We've sold $97 offers online. If you can imagine doing that, you might want to write this down. I've done free webinars. I've done $47 webinars. I've done $7 webinars. I've tried $97 webinars. I've done $1,000 webinar, by the way. You're going to get fewer people, but you still made money going into the deal without ever selling a product. We just charge $1,000 for the straight up webinar. Most of them are free though. Most of them are basically free. I'll tell you about the worst one and the best one. Okay. The worst one I ever did was the first. The last one that I did was a Saturday afternoon about 3 or 4 weeks ago. We made $1.4 million in 92 minutes. I don't know what that is a minute, but it's freaking extreme. And then, but that's not the end of the story. And then we made another $5.2 million a week later, or 2 weeks later, because of the product we offer. What is that? $7.1 million in
$15,000 a minute during the webinar.
Yeah, I mean, that's more than any doctor or lawyer. I mean, the politicians can't even steal that much money. Shit, and those guys got the whole money game on lockdown. So, I mean, you're talking, when you can do a webinar that produces that kind of money, you're talking billionaire money now. That's printing money with almost no cost. By the way, just keep in mind, guys, you want to write this down. We're using someone else's distribution, someone else's electricity, someone else's communication lines. Like, I didn't develop any of these lines. I'm using Zoom in most cases. Like, this Zoom's costing us nothing. Are we paying Zoom anything for this meeting?
I think it's like $39 a month or something like that.
Okay, so take the $39 out of the $7.1 million. Okay, like, so now, or your first one's probably not going to be $7 million. If it is, you probably need some celebrity to draw a big audience, because the income that you're going to make is really just dependent upon, write this down, nothing to do with the content, by the way. It has something to do with your audience. So Pete's going to share with you a bunch of mistakes that we've made. I told him, I said, look, man, we have an offer for everybody here, by the way. At the end, Pete's going to tell you about this stupid offer. It's so stupid, everyone will do it. I think it's $997. It would normally be how much, Pete?
$12,000.
So you guys that can't hang around, it's a $12,000 offer. You can do it today for $997. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. And if you don't have success with it, I think we give you we're going to do something else for you that's dumb. So those of you that can't hang around and you just want to go do it, you trust me, you trust Pete, you trust what I'm saying, this already has your attention, you can just go grab the link. I don't know what it is. The guys will tell you, they'll throw it in the chat.
GrantCardone.com/system.
Yeah, GrantCardone.com/system. It's basically going to tell you how to build an audience, pitch an audience, the mistakes everybody makes, and how to avoid those mistakes. Like, the number one biggest mistake, you guys will never even guess what it is. Everybody misses this. And I have worked with some of the biggest webinar people in the world now. I've worked with Russell Brunson. I showed Russell stuff on webinars. He was like, oh my God, man. Like, I've showed stuff to Pete, Lewis House. Just go, anybody that's ever done webinars, Ty Lopez, all these guys that have made money on webinars, women that have been doing stuff, we just make a couple little twists. Okay, never starting is not the biggest issue. No call to action is not the issue. Inconsistency, no. Kindly repeating. The upsell. Oh, Amir says, of course, here comes the upsell. Hey, Amir, you don't have to buy anything, bro. We all good here. You know, just keep doing what you've been doing. Everything's gonna be fine. No call to action. No. The biggest mistake people make is they spend too much time on the content and not enough time on the offer. Okay, like you should build your offer to sell. You should not just simply build an offer to educate. And we'll show you what that means in a second. Titles are a problem. Okay, titles are a problem for people. Where you make your offer is a problem for people. Pricing is a problem. Upsells. A lot of people miss upsells. I'm just giving you a bunch of them right now. No follow-up after the fact. Okay, no call for urgency. There has to be urgency in the offer. There has to be a fine balance. I think I lost Pete, guys. I can't see Pete anymore.
I'm here.
There's got to be there's got to be a balance between the education and the offer. There's got to be involvement and engagement with the audience, like I've been doing right for the last 12 minutes. There's also got to be a way for you got to market and create interest on this product or service. I'm sorry, on the webinar itself, so that enough people come in. Anyway, Pete's going to get into all that, guys. We have made literally, I personally made, this year we'll probably do $30 million just in this one product, this webinar. We've done webinars for real estate, our growth conferences, sales, marketing, book releases, audio programs, raising money. I've done it to collaborate with other people and help them. I've done fundraisers for politicians. I've done fundraisers for charities. I've raised over $100 million for charities that aren't even my charities. So it doesn't matter who you are. You're a masseuse, plumber, chiropractor, you're an HVAC, roofing, you raise money, you're with the bank. I don't care what you do. Webinars are one of the most valuable things you can do to build your audience and to monetize that audience, to fund a bigger audience, and then, as importantly, to make money for you so that you can expand your brand and your marketing. Okay, Pete?
Hey, G, I'm ready, man. You want me to take it away?
I want you to take it away, bro, and I want you to rock them and spend as much time with this audience as possible to make sure everybody here this. You want to do something? I mean, Pete's going to Pete, just like 35 minutes. Just give him as much as you can in 35 minutes.
I will give him a lot in 35 minutes, G. Hey, guys, give it up for G, man. Give it up for G. Hey. Come on, give it up for G. Throw him a 10X in the chat. Hey. Come on. I want to see.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah.
Pete. Okay, mistake. Pete, your whiteboard's blank.
That is right. Oh my gosh, Laurel. Yes. Mistake number one. I'll talk about that. Mistake number one. Dang it. I had it the other day. Awesome. Hey guys, I'll tell you the mistakes. I'm actually going to tell you the mistakes because Grant's done so many webinars and I'm stoked to be here with you guys. Really excited to be here with you guys. Hey, 35 minutes. I'm going to pound it out. I'm going to pound the A, B, C, D, E, and F of webinars. I know you can't see it behind me, but you're going to know it. Super stoked. Where are you chiming in from? I'm going to give you a lot. I'm going to give you a lot right now. So the whole title of this is to create your webinar, to create the power of webinars, create webinars revenue the easy way. The easy way. So here, I'm going to come out of the gates really fast. How many of you want us to promote one of your webinars? You might be like, I don't even know what a webinar is. Who wants us to promote your webinars? I see all of you right here. You're in front of my computer. I see Adam, Steven, Chelsea, Carlos, Danielle, Ty. I'm gonna throw something out that's so crazy that's gonna help somebody might actually win that today. So who's this for, Johnny? This is for any business owner who is trying to attract more leads and customers. I don't care if you're a new business or scaling up. Webinars work if you're a course creator, a service provider, a coach, a real estate agent, an investor, a brick and mortar business in any industry, in any niche. If you are a business owner that's getting started, write the word start. If you're a six-figure business owner, write the word six figures. If you're a seven-figure plus business owner, write that in the chat. I want to know if you're, starting or what you've done in the last 12 months. Why don't you do that? Let's start it off. What I want you to know, this is for all of those business owners. Now, some of you might be asking the question, what is a webinar? And guys, I want you to cut this next part out of the training, Rachel. Like, I don't want this on the replay, this piece I'm about to say. So I'm going to cut it and then I'm going to come back to this. I want you to write this down. Today, I'm going to teach you how to go from live webinar, and come to me, Johnny. I'm going to teach you how to go from live webinar to an evergreen webinar. And if that does not make sense to you right now, it will make sense to you in 35 or 40 minutes. Because right now we're actually creating this in a way that will become an evergreen webinar. Because not only has Grant Cardone produced the most in live webinars, more than anybody else that we've ever worked with or been partners with or done business with, he's also produced the most in evergreen webinars, which those play 365 days, 24/7. I don't know if you know what an evergreen webinar is, but we're actually, I'm going to cut this piece out because it doesn't make sense. But I'm letting you know you're going to get to go behind the scenes today of an evergreen webinar. So let's go back into real mode. Cool. So cut from that point. So what is a webinar? Some of you are asking, what is a webinar? It's a 1 to 2 hour live online event that allows you to educate and engage people from all over the world. It gives you the opportunity to offer your products and services and land a lot of customers in a short period of time. Who wants to land a lot of customers in a short period of time? Land a lot of customers in a short period of time. Who wants to do that? I see you guys. And so Grant said 35 minutes. If it's okay with you, this is what I want to give you in the next 45 minutes. Here's what I want to give you. And I'm curious of which piece you're wanting to learn the most out of these that I'm going to say. I'm going to tell you the one thing that Grant Cardone does to build connection in the first 10 minutes that nobody else does, that I've never seen anybody else do. When he shared this one thing with me, it completely changed the game. I'm going to show you the top 5 ways to fill your webinars because people don't know how to fill them. And 3 or 4 of those ways won't cost you any money. It will just cost you some time. I'm going to show you the number 1 key that you have to have. It's going to be the first thing that I teach you today to make a webinar work. I'm going to teach you the Edu-Action model of teaching. Oh man, you guys are going to eat this up. I'm going to show you how to overcome the biggest 3 reasons. We've surveyed thousands of people and asked the question, why haven't you launched your webinars? And there's 3 things that get in the way. I'm going to help you overcome those 3 big reasons. I'm going to show you how to move from live webinars to evergreen webinars. And the last thing that I'm going to show you is the step-by-step, the A, B, C, D, E, and F for you to launch a webinar in the next 30 to 60 days. As you look at that, which one of those excites you the most? And you could say 1 or 2 of them, but drop that in the chat. Can I have 45 minutes to do all of these? Are you cool? Can I have, and keep that up side by side with me if y'all can, because I want them to tell me which one of those they're excited about. Can I have 45 minutes to teach you all of those things? Is that cool? Yes? Because all of those things equals more leads and more customers. All of those things equals more leads and more customers. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to power through this quickly. And here is what I want to do. I want to teach you the one thing that Grant Cardone taught me that is how you build instant connection and authenticity. Now, I'm going to tell you the problem with webinars. And for those of you that are here, there's a reason why Grant did what he did, is because we have all of our VIPs in Zoom right now. There are people who paid to be VIP to be able to get some extra bonuses and a workbook and all of that stuff. So he made sure that everybody came in. There's thousands of people watching this. We did this on Thursday. The reason why we're doing it again today is because people got pissed off because they did not see the replay. It's because we held the replay from Thursday only for our VIPs. So we didn't send a replay. We had hundreds of people saying, but I want to see it. I couldn't miss it. I was working. And so we're doing a live encore. This is not a pre-recorded. We're doing a live encore. This is not pre-recorded. I got to remember my last statement there. We're going to cut this piece out. Guys, just so you know, we can't have this piece. What's the date, Rachel, today?
August 12th.
It's August 12th. And it's 1:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For all of you thinking this isn't real, now ask you if it's real. That means it's 12:30 in Texas, 11:30 in Colorado, and 10:30 in Cali. Cut that piece out. What was the last thing I said? Because remember, we're making this evergreen. I don't remember. So, what's the last thing I said before I said that? Turkey. I see you guys. And so what I want you to understand is the one thing that Grant does that nobody's taught me. And this is game changing. Let's go to the board right here. Here is the problem with webinars. Here's the problem with most webinars. Yes, there is an offer, but here are the two mentalities that people do. I think I'm going to see if I learn from Johnny the right way here. Is that what I push, Johnny, or do I push that to get it a little bit right there? That's the one Johnny likes right there. Bam. There's two mentalities. Here's what most people have been teaching you on webinars. Okay, tease them for 45 minutes. Tease them for 45 minutes, maybe even 60, and then make an offer. This is what you've been taught with webinars. Anybody, does that resonate? Tease. And what I learned from Grant, and you heard him just say this, and we're going to teach you how to actually do this the right way today. Yeah, I want to teach them as much as I can in 35 to 45 minutes. Before I teach them, I'm going to get the offer out of the way on the front end so that they don't feel manipulated. This is manipulation. I mean, I hate how many people teach this to actually tease them. Don't really give them anything. So Grant, in the first 5 minutes, makes the offer. And then he says, don't worry, because the rest of it, not only am I going to teach you, I'm also going to do some Q&A at the end to serve you. And so on Thursday, I was in here for an hour and a half doing Q&A, answering every VIP's question. I answered every VIP's question. And so this model says, man, just get this out of the way right out of the gates. Get this out of the way right out of the gates, and then go and just teach them the rest. Anybody been a part of something? I guarantee you this. And for some of you, money back guarantee. You're here for free. I guarantee you in the next 35 to 45 minutes, when I teach you the ABCs of the webinars, you're going to feel served and not teased. This is what a lot of people do. This is what they do. This is what we do. I want to go to the chat. Which side would you rather have? And listen, if you have issues with that model, leave. You don't need to be here. We don't need you here. If you have issues with that model, yeah. But there is a way that you got to do this that's brilliant, which I promise when I teach you the B today, the B in the ABCs, that you will see how this is done. And so here's my guarantee. Those things that I showed you on the slide before, these things, Johnny, you're going to get all of those. If you get out of those, would you consider today a win or a loss? A win or a loss? Win. And if you don't consider those a win, then leave. Like, I encourage you to leave. If you don't think that is a win, then leave. And the other thing you're not going to get today is a replay. So I highly encourage you, I'm now down to 41 minutes. I highly encourage you to be here the whole time, because somebody's going to get the opportunity of me and Grant, and I'm talking a big following within 10X stages of me and Grant promoting your webinar. That's what's going to be a huge thing. So here's what I want to do. I really quickly, and you can keep it on the split screen, I love this, I really quickly am going to get the offer out of the way. You can actually put it on your clock. I will have the offer out of the way in 60 seconds. This is how you build instant connection and authenticity. You don't hide something that you're going to do at the end, tease them the whole time, and then make this offer sound so attractive, and the only way that they get the goods is if they buy. You're going to get the goods, but you're going to get depth of the goods with the offer. You're going to get the goods today. So for anybody that's like, man, I'm just going to get it out of the way and then I'm going to teach you, the 10X webinar system got released for the first time just recently. Why? Because of the power of Grant and what he's done with webinars and what I've done with webinars. Not only do you get the entire digital course, which is a $3,000 value, the 3 biggest objections. You want to know the 3 biggest objections of why people don't launch webinars? Thousands of people we asked. They said, I don't know the tech. So we have a tech bonus that is a no tech webinar where tech doesn't get in the way. I don't know how to get traffic. Well, we've got 40 traffic sources that Grant has used to fill his webinars and his events, and what the pros and cons to each one of those. I don't know what I would talk about. We've got a one-on-one webinar talk design session with one of our people that are going to map out your talk. That is the webinar system that everybody is going crazy about. And oh, by the way, Grant made this thing called SIID. Write that down. I'm going to tell you what SIID is later. But we've had thousands of people come to this workshop. It's a $5,000 workshop. And we're actually going to bonus it in for anybody that's taking advantage today of this live webinar that you're watching right now. Thousands of people have spent over $5,000 on this. This makes it an absolute no-brainer. 2 days where we build your webinar on the first day, and on the second day, we put the entire plan together to fill your webinar and launch your webinar. So not only do you get the entire 10X webinar system, you get this 2-day event as well. Last thing that I'll say, last thing that you get is us breaking down. You have our team breaking down one of Grant's highest performing webinars and one of my highest performing webinars, and we're giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly, so you know exactly what to do to make your webinars great. Guys, we don't have links on there, but it's grantcardone.com/system, grantcardone.com/system. There you go, in less than a minute, there you go. Like, that is how you do it. You get it out of the way so you can teach the rest of the way. So here's my two of my most important questions for you guys, and come to me on this. I don't need that slide. First question, everybody in the chat answer this. Everybody. How many of you, you're either about to write yes or no to this question. How many of you have been on somebody else's webinar and bought some type of product or some type of something on a webinar online? How many of you, you can see it in that, you can actually see the question pop up on your screen. You can type it or you can say yes or no in the chat. I didn't know we had that, guys. So you can actually put it in there or say yes or no. Either way. Something. We've now done this and surveyed thousands of people, and I can tell you what the data says. Somebody said thousands of times. Yes or no? Yes or no? Come on. Come on. Let's go, comments. What would you say the percentage of yeses are of people who bought somebody else's product or service? What would you say that you see the percentages are? Yeah, somebody said 90, somebody said 95%. 95%. We have now done this to thousands of people, and it's always close to 95%. Don't bring the survey up. I just want the chats, guys. Now here's the opposite question. How many of you have actually in your business or your company sold your own products and services on a webinar. I didn't say you did a webinar. You've actually sold a product or service from a webinar. Yes or no? Write it in the chat, man. All thousands of you. Hey, some of you we let into VIP today as a gift to you. So if you're in VIP backstage with us in Zoom, please respond. If you're watching this on the stream or you're watching this on one of our social channels, I love it. But we're back here in Zoom and I can see just 1,500 VIPs back here in Zoom. What do you think the percentages are? Not, somebody said not yet. It actually looks, this is probably a little bit of a higher crowd, but anybody know what that is? That have, not that haven't. It's not no, it's not 75%. Absolutely not. It's like 10%. So let's get conservative. 90% of you have bought something on somebody else's webinar, and only 10% of you have sold something on your own webinar. Who's committed to flipping the script today? Who's committed to bringing this 10% up to this 90%? Let's match them. Let's not have as big of a gap. Stop being part of the 10% and be part of the 90% that's actually selling something. Yes? Yes or yes? Like an absolute no-brainer. And so what I want you to know is everything I teach you now in the next 35 minutes has everything to do with closing that gap. You see, Grant Cardone started with Lewis on a webinar. He did $35,000 that he took home, and it was his aha moment that these things are so powerful, I can do them from home. I had my first webinar. It had like 50 to 70 people on it. 50 to 70 people. And I did like $25,000 or $30,000 in revenues, and I split it with that man on the screen, but I did it from home, and I had my aha moment. Well, your aha moment, Pete, isn't enough for us. Yeah, that's not enough. This is what's enough. Look what Grant now does on a daily basis. Look at what he does on a yearly basis, all from webinars. And in his career, he's done hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm proud to say that I've done over $14 million in my career from webinars. It's not as great, and split screen this, it's not as great as Grant, but man, how many of you would take that? When Grant says he's probably done more than anybody else, it's absolutely true, because he believes that people like webinars over any other modality, because challenges and summits and all of these other things take multiple days. And right now in our world, the greatest thing that's getting in the way of people taking action has to do with time. And so they would rather get a lot in 35 to 45 minutes than get a little dripped out over 6 to 7 days. Most successful people, or people who are striving to be successful, do not have 6 or 7 days to get things dripped out. Give it to me all. And so he loves webinars more than anything else. Russell Brunson built his company on webinars in year one. He built his company on webinars on year one. So what I'm going to do in the 30 minutes remaining, I'm going to give you 5 minutes of the A, 5 minutes of the B, 5 minutes of the C, the D, the E, and the F. We've taught this one time. Now you are getting access to it. We're going to cut this out. Guys, we taught this on Thursday, and the only reason we're redoing this, I'm at a speak-off here in Miami. I had to drive across the city to come do this live encore because so many people were mad that we didn't send the replay like we're not doing today. So we came and we did it again so thousands of people could hear it again. So guys, these are the 6 pieces that we're about to teach you. I hope that you are grateful that we redid this because we heard how many of you had to work or had things get in the way, so we're redoing it. I'm telling you that because we got to remove that piece for Evergreen. So I'm going back into character now, cool? So these are the ABCs of crushing a sales webinar, and I'm about to walk you through each one. If you're excited about A through F, man, drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Now, Do you succeed? We just did a recent pilot with 28 of our students because we wanted to make sure that ABCs worked for somebody who wasn't known and who wasn't famous and who wasn't pop, who didn't have a big following, who had smaller followings or no followings. So we did 28 people who participated in it. 26 of them launched a webinar within the first 30 days, and 25 out of those 26 made sales. So we know what we're talking about. So what I want to start this with is a couple of weeks ago, just recently, Grant Cardone sent a 38-minute video out to his whole team. A 38-minute video out of the blue. He had just done his biggest record-breaking webinar. And he told everybody who he owns, all of the companies that he has ownerships in, all of his executives, he said in this 38-minute video, which he never does, it got shot in this studio. He said, guys, webinars have been the thing that has grown my business. They've grown all of the businesses I'm partnering in. We just got done doing this real estate webinar. It did over $1 million in revenues. We as a company, we as an organization, we internally have to do more webinars. And then he went on to say, this is what makes webinars work, and these are the things that don't make it work, so let's do more of this. I didn't just watch that video one time, not 2 times, not 3 times, because I knew we were launching a webinar initiative out to the market. And here's what I want you to know. What you're about to get in the A through F are the exact things that he said in this internal video, plus our experience of the last 20 years. Like him and I combined. So, but here's what I want you to know. 30 of those minutes were spent on the A. 30 of those minutes were spent on the A. Because he said without the A being the lead domino, the B, C, D, E, and F do not matter. So what's the A? The A of ABCs of crushing a webinar are attendees. And he said, I don't care about building your webinar. I don't care about anything. If you don't have attendees, your webinar doesn't work. It doesn't work. And so the A is attendees. And there's 3 things that you want to do, and I'm about to help you with those 3 things. He said, before you do anything, if you do not have a great hook, nobody's going to show up. So the first thing you want to do is get clear on your hook. The second thing he said you want to do is get clear on traffic strategies that will actually get people to show. So once you have your hook, what are the sources of traffic that are going to bring them there? And then you build the funnel. A lot of you build the funnel and you're not even thinking about the traffic. The funnel is like a road. And a road without traffic is useless. Nobody's building roads in our world because there's going to be no traffic on it. People are building roads in our world because there's so much traffic on it. But yet we try to build the road before we think about the traffic. The traffic becomes before the road. Well, the traffic comes before the funnel. So Grant said, you've got to get clear on your webinar hook. You've got to get clear on deploying your traffic strategies and what they are. And you got to get clear on building the funnel. And so what I want to show you is I want to show you 3 powerful hooks. And there are 3 areas of life that people care about. They care about their health, hook number 1. They care about their relationships, hook number 2. And they care about their wealth, hook number 3. The third hook on here is the one that Grant Cardone used on the webinar that he just recently did that knocked it out of the park. I'm giving you 3 examples of hooks, and I'm asking you to do 2 things as we leave here today. Are you helping people in health, relationships, or wealth? You can drop that in the chat, and maybe what's the primary one you're helping them in? Because all of you are helping people in one of those areas. If you really take some time to think about it, you'll see it. Health, relationships, or wealth. And then I want you to look at these hooks and I want you to think about what is my hook? What is my hook? The first thing in the attendees bucket that's going to get the attention of potential attendees is your hook. That third hook right there was responsible for, I think he said, over $1 million done on one webinar. $1 million done on one webinar. The second thing that you want to get clear on is your traffic strategies. Now, I wished I had more than 25 minutes left to teach you all 40 of the ways to fill your webinar or any event. And why do we say 40? Because Grant Cardone fills events greater than anybody else out there. He doesn't use outside promoters. He fills stadiums by himself. And these are the 40 internal top secret ways that he fills events. But I want to give you the top 5 ways that we believe that we're using that you can use to fill your events right now. I want to give you the top 5 ways that you can use to fill your events. And some of these cost you nothing. Some of these cost you nothing. The first one is just post on social. Post your hook on social. Tell them the time and date and allow them to register. Just post it on social. Perfect one, simple one. Number 1 and number 2 are how I launched my first webinar, which had a few dozen people. Not few thousand, few dozen. Number 2, DM or text people. And if you really want it to be powerful, do it in video form. I can do this right now, and so can you. Watch this. Hey there, I was just thinking about you, and I am so excited. I just recently got done delivering this Power of Webinars webinar on how to use webinars to grow your business. And I know that you are out in this world creating something really powerful, very big, and I believe webinars would be huge for you. And so I'm actually going to send you the recording, the actual Evergreen webinar of this. I would love for you to watch it. I really believe it'll make a big impact in your business. So just wanted to shoot you this quick video and get that to you. You see, what I did is I didn't say a person's name. This is how I filled my first webinar. And I got on my first webinar, I actually sent the guy a video, and I sent that same video to 30 people. And Danny Brissell was so inspired by the hook that he got on the webinar, and he actually became customer 001. If you look in my database, he was customer 001. He is up at the speak off that we're doing up the road right now. And I always refer to him to 001. All I did is I actually text him a video. He signed up for the webinar. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, this is awesome. This is awesome. So these cost you nothing. These cost you nothing. A third one that cost you nothing, it's one of my favorites, is actually being on other people's stages. Other people's stages cost you nothing. Go be on somebody's podcast, or go be on 3 or 4 podcasts before your webinar that's in 3 weeks. And the free gift that you can give them is this advanced training or specialized training that you're doing in 3 weeks. I have filled dozens of webinars just by being on other people's stages. And that's the free giveaway that I give from the stage, is a training that I'm doing coming up. This alone could fill your first webinar. The fourth thing, because I got to roll, but I'm going to spend the most time in the A because Grant spent the most time in the A in the video to the company internally. So if he spent the most time there, I'm going to spend the most time there. The fourth thing is an email list. Man, the sooner you can build your email list, even if you have 50 emails, How big's your email list right now? 0, 10, 30. Maybe you've gotten business cards and you've got 40 business cards from networking. That's an email list. They've given you their email. Maybe you got 100, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. What's the number? 0, 300, 15, 275, 5,000, 300. You guys, all of you giving numbers, you guys have enough to do a webinar. You have enough to do a webinar. I'm going to talk about how our email list, which is all of our email lists combined, are probably over 1 million total people, some of them not active. But I'm going to talk about how we're going to use that for someone that's watching this to the end live today. So your email list is powerful. And I'll tell you, paid media. When you get to the point where you know your webinar is working, paid media is so powerful because what you can do through YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, IG, the way that those social platforms track your activity would kind of make you sick to your stomach if you really knew. I don't know if you've ever done like, how did they know I was just talking about this thing and now every single ad that's after me knows it? I was talking about it. I didn't even type anything. Anybody ever have that experience where you're like, you're talking with someone about something and now all of a sudden you're getting ads served up to you? That's because of him. I think that's kind of creepy. But a lot of how they know about you is because of the things that you type online, and they get to know you. They get to know you because they want the people who advertise to you to be so laser focused and targeted on their ideal customer. They're this, they're that, they have this, they have that, they work here, they do that. They know the details. And so when we do paid media, we can actually laser focus on who we want. We wanted you on this. I'm curious, which one of these got you on this today? If you will just do the work around those 5, don't worry about the 40. Bring the split screen up, guys. Bring the split screen up. Don't worry about the 40. Don't worry about the 40. Worry about the 5. And those can help you deploy a webinar. Number 1, 2, and 3 is how I launched my webinars. Number 1, 2, and 3 is how I launched my webinars. The third and final piece around attendees. The third and final piece is build the funnel. Now that you have the hook, now that you've got the traffic strategies, build the funnel. Build the funnel. Now, let me tell you what a traditional funnel looks like, or let me tell you what our form of a simple funnel looks like. And you're gonna make a choice. A simple funnel says, let's have a registration page. You see that in your top left-hand corner. And once they register, we've got to get them to show up. So those are the emails. Once they show up, we've got to have a platform where we host it, which is Zoom. And then once we deliver the webinar, we've got to follow up with them because you're going to see 30, 40, or 50% more sales come in the follow-up campaign. So you follow up with them for a few days afterwards, and then you close the offer. This is a simple funnel, and this is where people get stuck. And so what I'm advocating for anybody that doesn't know how to do that, you don't know how to do that. If you know how to do that, you need to make that better. If you've done something like this with a webinar, say funnel, or if you haven't, say no funnel. If you have, the whole thing that you need to do is you need to make your funnel a bit better. But if you haven't, this is the number one reason why people don't launch a webinar. I want to tell you, you have access to everything you need just with Zoom. Zoom can be your registration. Zoom can be your show up. Zoom is the platform in which you can deliver the webinar. Zoom will serve you for your first few webinars, and there's simple steps to allow Zoom to work for you. And so I want to encourage anybody who hasn't watched one who hasn't done one, part of that 10%, you're the 90% that's never sold something, but you're also the 90% who's bought something from somebody else. I want you to start with Zoom. And so when you put these three things together, your hook, your traffic strategies, and your funnel, this is where Grant spent the most of his time on the 38 minutes. The second thing that I want to tell you about is let us build your presentation. Let us build your presentation. It's an important piece, is building your presentation. I love that we have people from all across the world here today. We use this concept called the story braid framework. Start with the heart, then the head, then the hands, then the heart. Let me tell you what becomes important. And guys, I want you to come to the board. There is the mentality of people who say tease them. Don't give them the goods. Maybe give them some just, maybe some big ideas. And then the only way that they get the goods is if they buy the offer. That's it. Anybody been a part of one of those? Now I can assure you, I'm 15 minutes into 20 minutes into teaching, and you've probably gained more from this webinar than you have from many that you've been on, just with me in the attendee section. Just with me in the attendee section. Then you've got the model where somebody who teaches so freaking much, they teach all of the time so much, and they make an offer, and usually they don't see success. And a lot of the times, these people see decent success with their offer, but the person watching doesn't feel served. The person watching doesn't feel served, but they're like, man, they've got me so sold on these ideas, but I don't really know what to do. Like, I showed you how to shoot a video. I didn't just tell you what to do. I showed you how to do it. And you can't show them how to do everything in 45 minutes, but you can show them a few things that will move the needle for them in 45 minutes. You can. Not just the what, the how. Because if you serve them, but not in this way, and they feel served and they're like, oh my gosh, I've got 3 or 4 big things I can actually go do, not just the what, but the how, they're going to want to go deeper with you because they're like, I see this. So I don't love this model and I don't love this model. I hate that model. The passion. I was told to do it that way and I didn't. And I lean this way because I'm an educator, but I'm like, that's not the model. The model is simple. I don't want you education. If you were here, you've already seen this, please don't answer this question. Please don't answer this question. But when I flip this places, the C and the A, when I flip the C and the A, what does that word become? When I move the C and the A, what does it become? Let's see who gets that. Yeah, great job. Edu-Action. That's what the story braid does. The story braid allows you to teach your proprietary process, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, but also has an emphasis on getting them to take action. It is the best of what was intended with this, and what is intended with this. This is where you want to live, because reciprocity comes in that place. Edu-Action. where you give them education, but you give them something to go actionably deeper with you, whether it's a vote, a donation, or the sale of a product or service. So when you look at this StoryBraid framework, split screen this with me. Yeah, powerful, right? Thank you, Pepe. Powerful. In the heart, how do you do this? In the heart, the first thing that you want to do is help them see that you've been where they've been, but you've gone to a place that they haven't gone. Too many people try to teach right out of the gates. That is a bad idea. The whole intention of the heart is to present the gap. So you've got to show them, you're here and I've also been there. They need to know that you've walked in their shoes, but you've gone to a place where they haven't been, that they desire to be. That is what you call the gap. And then you show them that you have a process that can help them close their gap. That's what you want to do in the heart. That's what you want to do at the beginning of your presentation. And then the second thing, which is the head, now they feel connected to you. Now the head is your proprietary process to closing the gap. This is the teaching part. This is the teach. This is the edu. Teach them your proprietary process. What are the 3 to 5 things that allowed you to close the gap? This is how you do it. Get clear on the 3 to 5 things that helped you close the gap, and now go teach that to them. Mark this down, if they buy into your process, they buy into your products and services. And then the third thing that you do, and I'll talk about this next, so I'm not going to spend any time here. You call to action one of 2 things on a webinar. I'm going to leave that one for our C. You probably figured out what our C is. This is the action part of Edu-Action. And then you close with the heart. You close with the heart. And everybody told me, no, you close with the hands. You send them to the back of the room. No. You close how you started. You close with, how do you do this, Pete? You close with a story that reinforces the importance of everything you taught. That's how you do it. When you put these 4 things together, it is how you have an Edu-Action type of presentation. You don't have to tease them. You don't overteach them. It's the bringing the best of what both intended to do into one framework. That's what this framework does. Is that helpful, guys? Is that helpful? Yeah. Cool. I love it. Yes, guys, tell me what's powerful. Yep, cool. The third, somebody's like, what's the call to action? I already told you, listen, I told you we're going to the C, the call to action. The call to action. Here is the what. I'm giving you examples. Most people would teach you, come to me, most people would teach you the what. What is your call to action? This is the difference between the what and the how. Don't just give them the what, give them some of the how. You can't get into all the how in 45 minutes. That's why we have the 10X webinar system. That's why we have the workshop. That's more time with us. But you can get into some of the how. In the Tease model, they don't want you to get into any of the how. So the what, you are making one of 2 calls to action. One, you're either selling a product or a service, or you're driving a call or a meeting. If your product or service is $3,000 or less, if it's a few $100s to a few $1,000s, a webinar is a great place to sell it. If it's more than that, or you need a demo or an appointment or an in-person meeting at their home or at your office, that's just how your sales process works. This is why it's for any business. It will drive both of those. In the chat, what do you believe you're going to use webinars to do? Are you going to use them for a product or a service? Or are you going to use them for a call or a meeting? What are you going to use them for? Webinars let you sell more products and services and drive more calls and meetings. Don't you want them? Here's the Tease model. All right, let's go to D. No, I'm joking. I'm joking, guys. See, the team even thought, I'm joking. That's how the Tease model works, because if I didn't show you how to design an irresistible call or how to design an irresistible product or service, that's what takes us into the how. I'm helping you understand the difference between the Tease and Teach model, the education model. So call to action. In order to see 25 or 30, even 20 to 30% of people watching your webinar live, schedule a call or a meeting, there's a few things you need. You need to name, this is how you do it, you need to name the call. Something sexy and attractive that provides an outcome that the person booking the call would want in their life. Number 2 thing is you need to provide value on that call. This is how you actually make a call convert high. And number 3, on that call, help them map something out in their life that they desire. Help them map out a plan. Watch this. In whatever you do that takes them from where they're at to where they want to be. And then you can actually say, hey, do you want to try to do that by yourself, or do you want us to do it? This is how you make a call attractive. That is how you make a call attractive. Yeah, it makes total sense. Thank you for not teasing us or teaching us. Yes, you feel served. And when you feel served, you're like, hopefully you're like, you feel like connected. You don't feel manipulated. Grant already told you we're making an offer, but not before we give you the freaking goods. Now, let me tell you, what if you're, remind me, are you doing calls, or are you trying to drive calls or a product or a service? Calls or a product or a service? Calls, both, product or service. So you're selling something. Here are the key things to making sure. Grant Cardone, the second thing he spent a lot of time in that video that he sent to us internally was all about how important it is to make an I don't even know how to spell, irresistible. Is it A-B-L-E or I-B-L-E? Irresistible offer. Here's the keys. Number 1, you better have an incredible core offer. An incredible core offer. Number 2, this, nobody teaches you this. So I didn't just show you the what, I'm now showing you the how. You need to have bonuses that overcome your customer's biggest objections. I'm just giving you a few things today because I can't teach you the whole how. And you need to have something that makes it no-brainer. Grant, I call it no-brainer. This is what Pete calls it. Grant calls it SIID. Anybody know what SIID is? Drop it in the chat if you know what SIID is. He just came up with it. It's the same thing as no-brainer. Stupid if I don't. He calls it the stupid if I don't bonus, meaning the person listening on your webinar. He's saying if they're stupid if they don't take this offer. You create that bonus. So I've already, and Johnny, just go to the full slide. I want to show you an example of all 3 of these. I already showed it to you at the beginning today. Here is the example of a core offer. And just keep it on the slide. The reason why this core offer is so sexy is because we say it's 6 modules. You can do it in one sit down in 3 to 5 hours. Make sure they see that they can get through it fast. It can be done in a few days. It's our best kept secrets revealed. You start winning immediately. You have lifetime access. We give you a double guarantee. Like, that's what makes this system, the core offer, unbelievable. And we've never shared these secrets before. That's an example of the core offer. That's our core offer today, guys. The example of bonuses. Ask your people, why aren't you making more passive income? Why haven't you lost the weight? Why is your relationship with your spouse not thriving? And they will tell you. Thousands of people have told us their 3 biggest objections to launching a webinar. Have any of these gotten in your way? Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Tech, I don't know how to do the tech. Traffic, I don't know how to fill it. Talk, I don't know what to talk about. Our 3 biggest objections are this. So the second thing I showed you how to do is how to overcome objections. You provide a bonus, not just random bonuses, bonuses that are going to help overcome the objections. So anybody that's taking advantage of this offer today, you're going to get the no tech webinar step-by-step and video guide of how to just use Zoom to launch your first webinar so tech no longer gets in the way. The no tech webinar Zoom. My grandma could follow this. She's 84, 85. So can you. And this is the second thing you're going to get. I taught 5 ways of how to do this. We're going to give you the additional 35 ways that Grant does it in his business. And the third example of a bonus that overcomes is you're going to get a one-on-one webinar talk design session with one of our advisors that walks you through what you're going to teach, your outline of what you're going to teach on your webinar. And then what's missing, guys? I showed you the core offer. I showed you the bonuses that overcome objections. What's missing? What have I not showed you? Drop it in the chat. The SIID, Erica said. No, man, call it my thing, not what Grant calls it. The no-brainer. Thank you, Dale. So here's the no-brainer. I fought Grant on this one. I literally fought him. I said, Grant, if we offer our freaking workshop, we offer our workshop that we sell for $5,000 day in and day out, that's not good. He said, yeah, but it's an SIID. It's a no-brainer offer. And I'm so glad I did. And for those of you that take advantage of this offer, I mean, I can show you thousands of screenshots of people who paid $5,000 of this, where we build out your talk on day 1, and then we help you fill your webinar and launch your webinar on day 2. And there's some other incredible trainings that we do at this workshop. Thousands of people have paid that. That is the SIID. That is the SIID. And so here's the last thing you've got to do on your webinar. Last thing. If you go to grantcardone.com/system, grantcardone.com/system, you can get this. The last thing you've got to do is you've got to show the value of everything that they're getting. And then make sure they understand that for a limited time over the course of the next few days, and this closes, guys, in a couple of days, that you get $997. Now, here's the cool thing. My question to you, and come back to me, Johnny, grantcardone.com/system. I just showed you what our core offer is. I just showed you what our bonuses are that overcome the objections. I just showed you how to create a no-brainer or SIID. Now you've got to do the same thing for you. You've got to do the same thing for you. Somebody asked, what's the double guarantee? You go through the course, you come to the workshop. We have them every single month, West Coast, East Coast, all over. And you don't see the results, we're not only going to refund you, we're going to give you a travel credit for traveling out to the workshop, an actual credit back towards your travel. We want to make it a no-brainer because we know that this system works. But you have to design your irresistible offer or your irresistible call. You've got to design your irresistible offer or your irresistible call. Johnny, go back up to the screen. Guys, we're through the A, B's, and C's. We're through the A, B's, and C's. Now, let's get to the D. Cool? Now, let me tell you something. Come back here. Grant taught me this concept of, I'm curious, who's learned not just what to do, but how to do it so far? Who's learned not just the what, but the how? Who at this point feels served? Who feels served? Yeah, we're demonstrating to you what you need to do because this is not the way people are doing webinars in the marketplace. They're teasing you to buy their stuff. I'm teaching you. And if you think this is powerful, think about 3 to 5 hours in our 10X webinar system. And then think about 2 days with us where we actually do some of the implementation there in those 2 days. So can you see that when you serve people well, they'll take advantage? And this is stuff I learned from Grant. For way too many years, I used to make the offer at the end. And I taught some and I teased some and blah, blah, blah. No. You get it out of the way at the beginning. And then this is how you do it. Like, this is how you serve people. And so I'm so excited. Like, if you're joining us in the 10X webinar system, I want to be able to see that 10X webinar system below. If you're joining us, I want to see it down below. Drop a chat. I want to freaking call you out. Let's go to the D, Johnny. I got D, E, and F, and then I'm going to take some Q&A at the very end today. I'm going to take a little bit of Q&A at the very end today. Deliver. The D. D, E, and F are what dictate the leads and customers that you're going to get out of your webinar. The D, E, and F dictate the customers and the leads that you're going to get from your webinar. So in a minute, in about 7 minutes when I'm done with this, 10 minutes when I'm done with this, every single person in here is either going to pick a date. You're going to pick a date of when your first or next webinar is going to be delivered. And so the D is you actually have to make a decision to go deliver it. You have to make a decision to deliver it. But here's the important part. By the way, anybody want to take a guess what our E is going to be here in just a second? Anybody want to take a guess on what our E is going to be here in a second? Anybody want to guess? Yeah, not execute. Evergreen. Every time I say evergreen, I get goosebumps. But if you don't do the D, you cannot do the E. So not only do you have to pick a date and go do it, you then have to duplicate it. You then have to duplicate it. Give me a split screen here, guys. So what do I mean? I'm curious. Look at your calendar right now and flip and make a decision about the date you're going to go do it. And this isn't going to be your best one, but you're actually going to get in the arena and do it. I'm going to ask you your date here in just a minute, your date and your time. And then you've got to duplicate it. But before you duplicate it, before you determine on a weekly, monthly, or quarterly rhythm, review your first one and make improvements. Review your first one and make improvements. There are coaches that say that the best players in the world, the Peyton Mannings and the Larry Fitzgeralds and some of the best players, the Tom Brady's, the best athletes in the world, that they watch film. That they watch film and make sure that before they go play another game, that they're prepared to get better in the places that they missed it. So after you do this first webinar, here's the cool thing. I want you to go watch the film. I want you to go watch your film. And one of the bonuses that Grant gave to each one of you is then you go watch Grant's film where we're breaking down Grant's webinar and we're breaking down my webinar, and you ask yourself the question, there is a reason for this bonus right here. There is a reason for this bonus right here. The reason is because if you don't have a coach in your life right now, you don't know what improvements to make. So I want you to go deliver your first webinar. I want you to go deliver your first webinar. And then I want you to make improvements to that webinar. You know what to deliver. I showed you in the build of what to deliver. But then this is the most important decision you're going to make. How often will you do it? Weekly? Russell Brunson, ClickFunnels, first year, a very high valued company. He made a decision to do a live webinar every single week the entire year. And all of a sudden, ClickFunnels blew up. A webinar. Monthly? Grant does a monthly. I do a monthly. Maybe you feel like that's too much. Quarterly? Then do it quarterly. But right now I'm asking you to pick a date and then determine after you make improvements to that. And you've got our film to watch so that you can make yours better. Decide if you're going to do weekly, monthly, or quarterly. I'm curious, what's your commitment? Weekly, monthly, or quarterly? Weekly is a lot. Maybe you do bi-weekly. I'm committed to a webinar every single month. Every month. It's doable. Mine might have thousands, yours might have hundreds or dozens. It doesn't matter. As you're faithful, they just build up. Go deliver it. Go deliver it. Guys, we're going to the E. We got 2 more left here. We're going to the E. You ready for the E? Who's ready for the E? Come on. Come on, come on, come on. The E, it is, well, anticlimactic there. The E is evergreen. The E is evergreen. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I'm going to help you. I'm not going to teach you a lot here. I've already taught you a lot in the D, the C, the B, and the A, because this is not where you start. This is the destination where you will arrive. I will tell you how you make a determination of when you get to evergreen. For anybody out there that doesn't understand evergreen, here is the definition of evergreen. Evergreen is once the live webinar is converting well, set it on evergreen. An evergreen webinar is simply a pre-recorded webinar that runs all of the time and allows people to watch it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That means you've got this thing so dialed in that people can watch it all of the time. Traffic's going there. Can I tell you something interesting? Grant and I, as you've been watching this, have probably had dozens, if not hundreds of people watch our evergreen webinars. The biggest question we get is, when should I take it from live to evergreen? And here's the answer. When your live is tightened up and you're delivering it most powerfully, you're like, oh my gosh, I am following the game film of Grant's and Pete's, and I got a coach speaking into it. When it's tight and converting. When it's tight and bringing the results that you want to see, that's when you take it evergreen. You want to see something cool? Here's Grant's evergreen funnel. That's his evergreen funnel. And in the last 3 months, look at how many people registered for it and look at the revenues that were created from it. Look at how many people registered for it and look at the revenues that were created from it. Are you kidding me? Does that might feel a little daunting to you? Maybe you're probably a few years out from that, so you're like, Pete, show me something that's more realistic for me. Cool. I'm telling you, I'm going after Grant's numbers, but you got to get started somewhere. And I've just gotten started this year, and that's my evergreen numbers. And they're not crazy, but I didn't have to go deliver this presentation to any of those people or any of that revenue. Guys, there's nobody doing evergreen webinars better than Grant. And I'm so excited that this year I launched my first evergreen. And one of the things that we're going to do for anybody that's in the system, we're not only going to break down 2 of our live webinars to give you game film, we're also going to show you the behind the scenes of both of the 2 evergreen funnels that we currently have right now. We're going to go behind the scenes of not just 2 live, but also 2 evergreen that you will have lifetime access to. The last thing that I want to teach you is the F. Anybody want to guess what the F is? Anybody want to guess what the F is out there? Good info. Thank you, guys. Freedom. It should be freedom. It's the financials, the webinar targets. There's eight key metrics that matter in webinars. 8. If I tried to teach you all 8 today, your brain would spin. So I'm going to show you how to use, I think it's 3, not 8, 3. As we go deeper into the system, we break down each of the 8. We don't just tell you the 8 in the system. We show you how to improve the 8, and we show you how easy it is to track the 8. But the ones that should matter for you as you are committed to launching your first webinar are these. The webinar metric formula. How many people are you committed to getting to show up for your webinar? How many people are going to convert into customers? How much is your product and service that you're selling them? And that equals total revenues. Total revenues. Those are actually 4 of the 8 metrics. So I'm not just showing you 4, I'm showing you how to do 4 of them. These are 4 that are very powerful. So I want you to make a decision right now. Is my first webinar going to have 25 people? Is it going to have 50 people? Is it going to have 75? Is it going to have 100? Maybe you have some experience, but the webinar you are committed to launching, how many people is it going to have? Write that in the chat for me. What are you committed to getting there? I showed you 5 ways of how you can get it. I could send one text 5 years ago and I can get 25 people to a webinar. I don't have to spend any money on ads. How many people are you going to get there? You write it in the chat. Now, if you do a average job, you're going to see 5% of those that are there convert. You do a solid job, you're going to see 10% of them convert if your presentation's good. And if you do a really amazing job, it's 15%. So let's just pick 10%. So whatever number that you just said is going to show up, 10% of them are going to buy. Let's say 10% buy. How many new customers do you have? How many new customers do you have? Write that in the chat. How many new customers? Now I want you to multiply that amount of customers by how much the product and service is that you would sell to them either on a phone call or on the webinar. And what is your webinar revenues? 19,000, 2,500, 15,000, 80,000, 6,000, 10,000, 40,000. You've just done the simple webinar metric formula. Now, those numbers are obviously hypothetical. You have to actually go deliver a webinar. And the whole intention, I didn't just tease these 6 things like most webinars do. I taught you these 6 things. I taught you these 6 things. And if you will go do the A, B, C, and D, that will get you to the point of being able to actually deliver the E. And you don't just track your financials on your webinar metrics on your live webinars. Once you start doing your Evergreen, you track the same metrics on your Evergreen webinars as well. So the main commitment that I want to ask you before we get to things here is in the chat, what is your webinar launch date? And what is your target of what you would like to hit on that first webinar? What is your webinar launch date? And I think last time Grant was in the chat looking at this specific thing. And put both of those in your answer, not one of those. Put both of those in your answer, not one of those. Both. Let me see that. Yeah, I love it. 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 Come on. September. Yep. Got it. See the dates. See the dates. And so we want to help you hit those webinar targets. I'm going to talk about how one of the ways we're going to help somebody is by actually promoting your webinar. And I'm going to take a few questions here in just a minute. But I'm going to be really, really, really short and sweet on this because you guys know about the 10X webinar system. You've already heard about it. It's a powerful system. The 10X webinar system, it's time to let us help you get there faster and quicker without you trying to do it yourself. So the 10X webinar system, it's time to create the webinar revenue the easy way and the way where you feel in integrity and not the teasy way. Don't do it the teasy way. The 10X webinar system, 6 modules, 3 to 5 hours. You could be done with it next week. You could be done with it in the next few days. Retail value of just shy of $3,000. And here's what we do. We help you create your hook for your webinar. We have you have clarity on how to fill your webinar through the 40 ways, and we build a tech-free funnel. You have the complete instructions on how to build a tech-free funnel. In the build your presentation, we're not just mapping it out, you're getting clear on your proprietary process, because when they buy into your proprietary process, they buy into your products. And then we're making sure you're confident in the call to action. This is what we're doing in the system in a few short hours. The call to action, we're designing your irresistible offer or driving more sales and meetings and making that sexy. And then you're learning how to convert and actually drive sales from the webinar. That's what's happening in the teaching. Lifetime access to this. In the deliverable, we're making sure that we get clear on your webinar launch date, and we're making sure you know what to do pre-game, Rachel, pre-game, game time, post-game. What do you do to get ready ahead of time to deliver? What do you deliver during it? And what do you've got to be delivering after it? We make sure that you have that checklist of that pre-game, that game time, and that post-game. And then the sexy thing, Evergreen. We're going to make sure that you understand to know exactly what you need to do to launch your Evergreen webinar, what tools and systems that Grant uses, and we're going to make sure you have an Evergreen checklist to maximize your results. And then the last thing, guys, is the financials. You're going to know the 8 most important webinar metrics. You're going to know how to increase each one of them after you track your first webinar, and you're going to know your webinar financial goals. And we are going to give you our internal tracking spreadsheet so you know exactly how to track them and have access to our spreadsheet. That's the core offer, $3,000 of value. I already shared with you, I love this. All she does is host 2 webinars a year with 50 attendees. She gets 15 clients from those, and that is Diana's complete sales and marketing plan as a customer of ours. I told you, this is why people don't launch webinars: tech, traffic, and talk. And so we remove that barrier. The no tech webinar, you're going to be able to launch your first webinar and get the tech set up in like 10 minutes. Probably less than 10 minutes, huh, Rachel? If they follow the instructional play guide, less than 10 minutes. Probably 5 is what I'm seeing. 5 minutes, the tech-free way. We're going to make sure you have access to all 40 of the traffic sources that we have never given out in any program to the general public, of filling not just your webinars, but any event. And then the last thing, when you come to our workshop, we're going to do a one-on-one in-person webinar talk design session. We want to make sure that the 3 things that are getting in your way don't keep getting in your way. When as I said, man, just from your traffic strategies and my Instagram following. Only on that I was able to hold my first webinar and did $450,000 worth of products and services. That's phenomenal. And then the thing to make it a no-brainer, and you're going to want to take advantage of this before this webinar is done, because we're only doing this for the first few hundred people, is what Grant calls an SIID bonus. I call it a no-brainer bonus. Is our $5,000 Stages live workshop, where we actually dive into webinars in this workshop and dive into your webinar talk in this workshop. And Grant taught me another principle. Don't tell them that it was $5,000. Show them that people have paid $5,000. You see on your screen, people have paid $5,000. And for those of you that are acting fast on this, we're actually going to bonus that in. And we have a couple of those coming up. We have a few coming up October 5th and 6th in Miami. We also have November 14th and 15th in Miami. Guys, I'm going to shoot something for the Evergreen right here, okay? You can see at the below link that when you click on that link, grantcardone.com/system, and you buy the system, it will allow you to pick an upcoming date of one of our workshops immediately coming up in the next few months. And you can pick the date that works with your calendar. Guys, I hope you see that what I just did there is made this webinar evergreen ready. But for all of you here, these are the dates coming up. These are the dates coming up. So here's the system. Here's what it breaks down to be. The entire system plus the top performing live webinars and the 2 top performing evergreen webinars. We go behind the scenes. It's almost a $12,000 offer. We're doing it for $997 or a one pay of $997 or a 3 pay of $397 at grantcardone.com/system, grantcardone.com/system. I said this already, the double guarantee. Go through the course, come to the workshop, and do the work in both of those. And if you're not 100% satisfied by the time, you've got to let us know at the workshop. We will refund you and give you a credit towards your travel. Yes, the double guarantee. So go to grantcardone.com/system. Guys, this works. Grant said, let's not launch this to the market until we have a pilot test that our ABCs work. 28 participated of our customers, 26 held webinars, and 25 made sales. 25 made sales. And so as I close today out, and I'm going to have time for a few questions today, but I think about this guy who launched his first webinar in 2016, and that's about the time that I launched my first webinar in 2016. I think about that guy, and he was scared to death, and he was scared on that first webinar. But then I think about this guy, and actually that's in 2019, guys, 2019. It's a whole different guy. And that guy, a few years after meeting Grant Cardone, was able to do a webinar with Grant Cardone on the Unbreakable Challenge. And it was day 1 was a webinar. We said we're going to do day 1 webinar. And the guy on the left saw a few dozen things on his first webinar. He saw like a dozen customers on his first webinar. But then on the big webinar that I did several years later, I saw like 1,800 new customers. So if you're just getting started, just to go get 10 or 12 new customers is huge. But the possibilities of what exists with webinars from your home is really, really big. And so guys, thank you for being here today. Thank you for taking this. I really hope that you will step into the system, because you can move so much faster with Grant and I then you can move on your own. GrantCardone.com/system. GrantCardone.com/system. You got the 1-pay and the 3-pay option. And what I would love to do is take some questions from you guys for about a little bit of time, and I'll tell you why in a minute. What I'd like to do is take some questions from you. Okay, I'm coming out of character now. I'm coming out of character. I don't need the questions yet. Let's not bring them up yet, guys. Let's uncheck her. For y'all that are live here with me, this is not part of our Evergreen right here. This, you'll get access today. You'll get access today, and I need to bring this screen up, guys. Can we bring my slide up? You guys, you'll get access today, but we actually have a live onboarding for all of you on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern, we're doing, I just went to the next one, Johnny. I don't know why. 7 p.m. Eastern, the live onboarding one, my bad. And this is not part of the Evergreen, guys. So that's this Monday, 8/14, 7 p.m. Eastern. If you can't be there live, we're going to get you onboarded. You get access to things today. You start the work today. But on Monday, we want to make sure that we supersede this, because this offer, this price, and all of these bonuses actually go away then. But guys, there are some things that go away today here. So this is the last, you can put it on that last slide, Johnny. That's the last slide that I want to make sure that comes up. The very last one. Sorry, my bad. My bad. So GrantCardone.com/system. It's on there. That one right there. And you can just come on me. You can come on me. We can figure that out. We can figure that out. It's the very last one. It has everything on it. Everything on it. Yep, there you go. There we go. There's everything, just so you can see it. Take a picture of that. You can see it. One spot, one location, right there. And I want to take a couple of questions. Rachel, let's be strategic. Let's maybe have them ask their questions. Let's be strategic with questions, not like the first come, first serve. I want questions that are going to serve the thousands of people that are still here. So cool. I'm going to go into Q&A time, because you can use Q&A for Evergreen. So I'm going to go into Q&A time. I don't have the same amount of time as I did a couple of days ago, because we have the Great American Speak Off. So Laurel, let's get ready for that, But I want to take a few questions. If you're in, I want to know in the chat, Pete, I'm in. I'm in. I want to see that. I want to recognize some people who are in. Come on, Ginger. Come on, Sean. Come on, Crystal. Come on, Raquel. I'm curious, did you get in at the beginning, the middle, or the end? That's one of the greatest things that Grant has taught me. I want you to know, in the past, I'm looking at all of your faces now, because this isn't important for Evergreen. In the past, I always made it at the end. And just recently, Grant's like, no, teach them as much as you can in 45 to 50 minutes. Give them everything, but make sure that you just make a freaking mention of the offer at the beginning and get it out of the way, so it's out of your head too. Because when you get it out of your head, now you're like, I can go into teach mode because I already talked about that. But when you're trying to think about the offer and teach, you don't do as good of a job in the teaching when you're doing it at the end. So when I get it out of the way at the beginning, I had never done that. And I just did it recently for the first time, and I'm so grateful to Grant. He's like, you realize that half of the people that took action, and man, this is a brand new offer. He said half of the people that took action actually took action before you actually officially made the offer, because of the authenticity. Now, there's always going to be those people that are like, oh, I signed up for this. This is supposed to be free. Like, you're always going to have those people. But if you know in your heart of hearts that you can get it out of the way and then you can go teach, and you can't teach them how to do everything. Time is a barrier, but you can teach them how to do some things and not tease them the whole way. What are some things that I taught you how to do that you now know how to do? Drop that in the chat. You don't just know the what, but you know the how. You know how I'm going to do this. I know how I'm going to do it. It still takes work. It's not just like it instantly appears, but you now know how. Drop that in the chat for me. But the power is now you can get that out of the way and it's out of your head. And now I wasn't even thinking about the offer. I was thinking about teaching you. Teaching you. So you might ask why you have to leave. We have the Great American Speak Off. Oh, you know what I didn't tell you guys? I didn't tell you one thing that I promised I would tell you. Anybody who takes advantage of the system, we're going to pay attention in the next 3 or 4 months. We're going to pay attention in the next 3 or 4 months to a student, at least one, a student who knocks it out of the park, who does a great job, who goes through the course. We can see when you graduate because you get a graduation certificate when you finish the course. You could be done with it early next week. And who comes to the workshop, who actually launches a webinar, and who we see get success. And success is not defined by the number of customers you get because some people have an advantage over others. It's by the work that you put in. Somebody could get 10 customers, somebody else could get 1,000, and the 10 person could win because they had nothing to start with, and the 1,000 person had hundreds of thousands to start with. It's at our discretion, and the person who shows up and does the work, we, 10X Stages, Grant and I, are going to promote at least one person's webinar. At least one person's webinar. That's game changing. That's game changing. So I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. Let's take this first question because the reason I'm having to go is I'm going across town to the Speak Off. I have the Great American Speak Off going on right now across town. And so I've got about 10 minutes. So my request is I can get a handful of questions in, but I cannot have context from you guys. My name is, my question is. That's it. Cool? All right, I'm going to get back into evergreen mode. So we're going to take some of your questions now because these questions are going to serve the people that are here watching. So let's get to the first question. All right, team, be ready to unmute. I want these questions.
Hello.
My name is, and
my
question
name
is.
And my question is, I haven't started my business yet because it was a major life switch. So I'm just getting certifications. But do you find that it would be fair for me to not even launch my business yet technically and be making money off of a webinar?
Great question. All right. What I didn't tell you, and this is a question that comes up. You learned what the top 3 reasons why people don't launch webinars are, right? Let me see if you're a good student. What are they? Remember the Tease. Can you turn them up a little bit? Can you turn her up?
Core offer bonuses and must be a no-brainer.
Come on, guys, help her out.
Yeah.
Tech, traffic, and talk.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Those are the 3. I don't talk about the 4th or the 5th or the 6th or the 7th, but I'm going to tell you what number 4 is. Number 4 is I don't have a product or service. And so it's important for you to get a product or service. Are you in? I can't see her. Bring her back up, tag her back in, and you don't have to unmute her. You have to have a product or service because if not, then I'm not trying to do webinars for followers. I'm trying to do it to move my business forward. So one of the things I'm going to do, because I didn't include a bonus for the 4th, we have a bonus called Create Your First or Next Digital Course in a Weekend. Meaning you could have a product up and running this weekend and it will take you a few hours to do. So are you in the system? Give me a thumbs up if you are. Are you in? You're in? Like already? Unmute her. Already?
Yes, 10X.
Come on, let's go. So I'm going to not just throw that in for you so you actually can get a product created. I'm going to make sure that anybody that takes advantage of this system gets that as well too. So I know that wasn't on the irresistible offer, but because the question got posed, yes, you do need a product. Let's go to the next question, guys. Let's firecracker these. I want to make sure it's a question that serves a lot of people, guys. I'm going to take a handful. All right. Man, Katie Gonzalez asks hold on one second. Katie Gonzalez asks a great question. Can I sell somebody else's product? Yes. And you can make money. It's called affiliate commissions. Great question, Katie. All right. What is your name and question?
Hi, I'm Vivian Osborne. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. And I sell paparazzi jewelry. I sell costume jewelry. for a multi-level marketing company. Does webinar work for me?
Yes, great question. One of the questions we get often about webinars is, I'm in a network marketing company. Will it work for me? It will work for you, but you cannot sell the opportunity. You have two chances. You can either get people to become customers of your product or possible, distributors of your product. So your recruiting side of it. So you can build a webinar that is value-based, that you're not selling your product, but you've got to create something of value where it creates a desire for your product or to be a distributor. So the 3 steps to how any stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad could work from home and make extra money. Now you're teaching what it takes to work from home, and then you're giving them value in that talk. And now they just connected with you through that webinar. So now they're going to want to get on the call with you and learn about how you work from home. That's an example. Or how to use, the importance of, I don't remember your product, but you can do the same thing with your product. You could create a value-based webinar with your product. Some products it's harder than others, but a short webinar can be a great way to sell more of your products and more of your distributors, for sure. I'd have to know more about your products, which we don't have time for that today, but a webinar can be used in most instances, but not all instances. Let's go to another question, guys.
Hey, Pete, I'm Sean Ginsberg. My question would be, I understand that the webinar should be 1 to 2 hours. In the 10X network, what is ideally the sweet spot?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you the sweet spot. We don't always follow it. Grant already told you one mistake I made. One mistake I made is you always have something on your board back here. On Thursday, I had the power of webinars and then the subtitle. I didn't have something on my board. The sweet spot, guys, really, most people in the industry, I want you to hear this, say you got to be done with the teasing. That's how they say it. They say the teaching, but they're really not teaching anything. They're giving you a big idea that you get so excited about, but they're not giving you any meat and potatoes at all. That's what most people in the industry do. And they say, be done with that at 45 minutes so that you can make the offer before the 60-minute mark, because the drop-off of the 60-minute mark is high. That is true. The drop-off of the 60-minute mark is high because somebody is so freaking tired of being teased, and naturally people can stay around for an hour. Here's the cool thing. When you say, hey guys, most of the times you come on, let me give you the lines for all of you. Most of the times when you come on one of these free trainings, all they do is tease you and don't give you any of the goods of whatever your title is, how this can change your life. I'm going to teach you so much for the next 45 to 60 minutes that you will not just know what, but you'll know how to do it. What they do is they tease you and then they make this offer, and they only give you the goods if you buy the offer. What I'm going to do for the next 45 minutes is I'm actually going to flip that on its head. I'm going to do the offer. I'm going to tell you about what you have the opportunity to do with us at the beginning, so I can, for the next 45 to 60 minutes, just teach you everything and give you the goods. And I feel like if I give you the goods, then you'll want to go deeper in the goods and take the offer. When you do that at the beginning, now all of a sudden, you don't have to feel the pressure of the 60-minute drop-off because you've gotten it out. But the sweet spot is 60 to 75 minutes. It really is 60 to 75 minutes, but you don't have to feel this pressure. There's not this pressure. Most people, and I won't say names, are thinking about, I gotta skip stuff or do stuff because I got to get to the offer. All they're thinking about, and guys, I only want one up at a time, all they're thinking about is the offer. So when you get the offer out of the way, and guys, you timed it, it was 60 to 90 seconds. That's all it was at the beginning. If you go back in time, it probably 60 to 90 seconds. And now it's out. You guys are relieved. I'm relieved. And now we teach. So 60 to 75 minutes is the sweet spot. Bro, if you're in, are you in? Are you in the system? Awesome. Let's go, bro. Let's go. Next question. Got time for a couple more. Is Daniel here or no? No, he's not, huh?
Hi, Pete. Thanks for taking my question here. Basically, what I have, I'm looking to be a motivational speaker. I teach for fire school and things like that.
Start with the question, and then if I need some context, I'll come back.
Okay, very good. Basically, if I have like a motivational speaking type of business or looking into that, is this webinar program a good system for me to get into? Like, will I have an audience just by trying to sell a service?
Yeah, that's a great question. So listen, there's two things I teach. Thank you for that question. You have the opportunity to build your own stages, which a webinar does, and you have the chance to be on other people's stages. You guys, this is teaching right here. You can build your own stage. You can be on other people's stages. There's power in doing both of them. And so we've always had a product around other people's stages, and we have a product around your own stage. And this is the product around your own stage. And we believe this is powerful because you own this stage. It becomes your stage. So I believe any motivational speaker or people who desire to be in the speaking world need both. I really do. I don't believe you need one or the other. You need both. So I highly recommend that you do this. And then here's the cool thing. I didn't say this today, but when you come out to the workshop, we don't just focus on your own stage. We're also teaching you how to get on other people's stages at the workshop. So we're not just helping you understand how to write your webinar talk, we're also helping you write your talk that can get you on other people's stages as well. So the workshop has components of exactly what you want, which is both of these. This system that you're going to get access to right away is the webinar, but get registered for the workshop. And as soon as you sign up for the system, you can access your date. Guys, I encourage you to access the dates before, right away, because they will sell out and they'll fill up because we only let so many people in the workshop. One more question, and that's what we're going to do. Guys, by the way, what we're going to do is we're going to put the entire offer up here in just a second. A couple of the fast acting bonuses, they're going away. A couple of those are going away. Like the behind the scenes, the workshop, those things are so powerful. So when I am done here, we're going to put a 15-minute countdown clock, and we'll just keep that running here. My team will be in the chat to answer questions and stay up for a little bit. But let's ask a final question here.
Hello, Pete. This is Linda from Washington, D.C.
Hey, Linda.
Good to connect with you. My question, considering the text option that you mentioned, which I love because that's an area that I am excited to go into, what is the best company that we can use where they give a lot of benefits and don't limit how many characters you have, and the price is not that expensive for those of us who are starting out?
For texting?
For texting, yes.
Have you launched a webinar yet?
No.
Okay, great. That's all I need. Thank you for that. Here is the problem with lots of people, and it's not, man, I love her energy. Linda, I love your energy. Here's the problem. You guys are worrying about things. If I didn't cover it in the A through F, you don't need to be thinking too much about it. So I don't even want you thinking about text messaging. When I launched my first webinar, I shot one-on-one text messages. You don't need to be thinking about a text software until you have a lot of people's cell phones that have given you permission to text them. So if you haven't been given permission to text them, I don't want you thinking about texting. And you're not the only one. I'm guilty of this. I see all of the bright, shiny object stuff, and I'm like, I want to learn how to text and marketing automation and comprehensive funnels. And then I go do all of that stuff, and I ask myself the question, why do I keep falling down? Because I don't focus on what Grant focuses on, attendees. Let's get a hook. Let's get our traffic sources. Let's build a simple funnel and get it up right away. And in this case, we'll build a no traffic funnel. So that's what you got to be focusing on. Don't focus on the tech yet. I'm not saying never, but too many times we try to go focus on something that we shouldn't focus on. Let's focus, and this is it, y'all can take her off. Let's focus on the A, B, C's. And then the D. You told me the date you're delivering it. Drop the date and drop what you want the target revenues to be. You told me the date you're delivering it. Let's go focus on the ABCs. Let's not get into the advanced stuff. And then we'll get to D and A, B, C, D. And then before you know it, some of you are going to launch Evergreen webinars. And that's what you need to focus on. And so, guys, I hope that you'll join us, grantcardone.com/system, grantcardone.com/system. You're going to want to take advantage. You see that countdown timer. Make sure that you take advantage of the behind-the-scenes fast-acting bonus. We want you there. And, man, we are, once again, we're not going to do another live encore. The offer, this complete offer and this pricing goes away in a few days. But you're going to want to take advantage of this to make sure that you get those fast-acting bonuses. So, guys, thank you all so much. Make sure you do that, and we will see all of you on the call on Monday. For our onboarding call, you'll get all of the details sent to your email. We'll talk to you soon. God bless.
Though I've grown a lot, can't keep it home a lot. Cause when I frequent the spots that I'm known to rock, you hear the bass from the truck when I'm on the block. Ladies, they pay homage, but haters say Dre fell off. Pop, nigga, my last album was The Chronic. They wanna know if he still got it. They say raps change, they wanna know how I feel about it. You ain't up on things. Dr. Dre is the name, I'm ahead of my game. Still, my leaf, still the beats. Still not loving police.
Yo, G, you want to talk to these guys? We gotta let him unmute himself.
What's up? Oh man, let's beat it. Let's beat it, Johnny. Let's go. Why not, man? We just hang out, man. We hang out. Man, you guys got any questions for me? Let's go, Johnny. Why is everybody leaving the room, man? Grant Cardone just got back. When are the dates? The dates are now. Look, as soon as you click the link, you get the No Tech webinar. You get the traffic bonus. You get the talk design. You get all that online. We literally just deliver it to you. What's up, Stacy? How you doing? Wilson, good evening. Good evening. Yeah, look, I know guys, look, we want to train you how to do this. I mean, Pete just did his best to give you as much as he could with 45 minutes, but you guys that want to go deep, you want to go hard, you want to go short and long. Johnny, what's up? You want to go big time. You want to learn all the little the granular things, it's going to take more than 35 minutes. Y'all know
What's
that.
up, man?
Johnny, what was your big takeaway today, man?
Man, that, I feel like webinars are a way of not only showing your audience your product that that you have that can help them, but you can also evergreen it. So now you can do that over and over and over again without having to do it over and over and over again.
And Johnny, how many, just be honest with everybody, how many times have you seen me do these and we made mistakes?
Every single time.
Every single time we mess it up, guys. Every single time. And it still somehow works.
You know what's crazy is that I have a new guy that I'm training. He's here with me today. And I told him one of the big things that, I got to make sure, especially with you, is that every single time that we do a webinar, something looks better, the lighting is better, the audio is better than the last time, So that's normal. It's just improvements,
Yeah. So guys, any of you guys that have questions about what the offer actually includes, make sure you reach out to our team. The link is grantcardone.com/system. Everything that you need to know is there, but if there's something that you're not sure about, I'll give you I'll give you like a 20-second overview. We're going to show you exactly the right way to do a webinar. We'll show you the mistakes people make when doing webinars. We're going to show you how to build the traffic for it, marketing that works for it, okay, how to design your talk, your pitch, okay, how to price the pitch, how to have stack offers in it, okay, and how to use this to actually expand your brand and your name and identify who you are, what you do. So that was a quick, that was less than 20 seconds. It's a digital course online. You click the link. You don't have to travel any place, but we do. When is the live event, Johnny? Because we gave everybody the live event. When is that?
It's October 6th. 5th and 6th.
So in 45 days, you have enough time to study the links we gave you. You got to probably, a good 40 days of study time. And then right about the time you're done with your study, then we're going to go live with you. Now, you could travel down to Miami and do it in person. Call Pete. Or you can go online. You don't have to travel. So we know a lot of people can't travel. Maybe you're outside the country. Because the beautiful thing about webinars, call Pete. Call Pete. Call Pete. The beautiful thing about webinars is you can do them from anywhere in the world. I mean, today it looked to me like we had 30 or 40 countries on today. Where are you guys from right now? Who's still on right now? Put where you're from. Hey, Pete.
Gee, sorry, my phone was all on that focus or whatever.
Oh yeah, I got 400 people sitting here asking questions right now. Scotland, Illinois, Massachusetts, Los Angeles, Niagara Falls, Surfer Paradise, Romania, Seattle, Sydney. Where are you, Pete?
I'm going back to the Great American Speed Golf.
Oh, okay. India's in the room. Woodlands, Texas, New Jersey. Yeah, okay, man. Okay. Well,
So I answered questions for about 20 minutes, and then Johnny put a countdown timer and said, "Hey, this thing's going away in 15 minutes." So that's what's helping it. But I mean, I can get back in there.
no, it's all right. It's all right. Somebody asked a question I didn't know the answer to. When? Carmen, you're not putting the horse in front of the cart to combine the marketing system and this system. These are, that's a perfect fit, by the way. You guys, everything that we teach guys, there's nothing that I do. Sales, marketing. I'm cool, Pete. If you want to go, if you want to pop back in, you can. But there's nothing that I teach that conflicts with anything. So you guys that are on 10X stages, You're on our marketing program. You're on our accelerator program. This is just about webinars, how to actually take those things and throw them on this distribution channel called webinars. How do you do evergreens? Well, the evergreens, you don't have to do them. You literally just put them on repeat, and you're going to have people, let's say you did 100 people live on your first event, and then you go evergreen, and there's only 40 people on your evergreen event, but you could do that evergreen event 80 times. So you would end up with 3,000 people going through your evergreen program, and only 100 people went through the first time you did it. Like most of everything we do evergreen, and we have 3 and 4 times the number of people minimum go through the evergreen or the recording that went through the live event. So anyway, guys, we wanted to do this for you. We did it, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday this week, right, Johnny?
Yes, sir.
And there was thousands of people that banged our office and said, I missed it. Can you do it again? So we did it again. It was live today. Now, we're going to take the offer down, grantcardone.com/system, grantcardone.com. Stretch it out for another 16 minutes. No, make it 11 minutes and then take it down. That offer, that's a $12,000 offer for $997. You will never see it again offered for that price. And that rewards people that took action, but it also sets us up. It puts our company, just so you know, in a position to where we can offer that same product that we did today live with you guys for $2,900. I can sell 1/3 fewer and make the same amount of money. And we know recordings don't work as well as live, but if it's 1/3 as effective, okay, we will actually still make the same amount of money. Hey, Pete, I was just telling everybody we're going to keep it up for 11 more minutes for this 400. But I was telling them, I said, guys, the next time you see this online, it'll be $2,900. We'll raise the price 3 times. I don't know if you went over this with them, but we'll raise the price 3 times. We will have 1/3 of the people there. Like today, I think that there was, what would you have? What'd you have here? Was it 1,200?
No, I got the VIP room got up to 1,500 today.
Okay, so watch, guys. We won't be as we know we will not be as effective on the evergreen. We won't get as many people, but if we're 1/3 as effective, that means there'll be 500 people on. But we can do it 50 times, so we'll end up with 25,000 people running through the recordings, and they're paying 3 times the price. So even though it'll be less effective, okay, if we only close 2% of 25,000 people, that's 500, but they're paying 3 times the price. So that would be like selling 3 times as many people the when we offered today. So we never waste anything we did. We offer this to you guys. Okay, we get the momentum of you guys buying today. That gives us encouragement and momentum. It gets customers. It gets people talking. So you guys get benefited. You benefit. We benefit. And then we'll take the evergreen in 8 minutes now. In 8 minutes, we'll take this offer down. My guys will rebuild the offer. They're going to add a 2 to the 997. You're still saving a bunch of money. It's still a great offer. We'll hit record. We'll schedule the dates, and we'll start banging it out. And we'll just keep doing that until it runs its course and it's no longer working and viable. But me and Pete won't be working at that point. This thing's just doing its thing now.
Hey,
and
Grant.
if it does one unit,
Yeah.
it's $3,000 for us.
Grant, you had today 4,000 people watch one of your Evergreen webinars by the end of today being done. 4,000 people, a stadium, a small stadium, watch Evergreen webinar today with one of your other Evergreen webinars. Like, that's wild, man. That's wild. That's what the power of Evergreen is.
Truly scaling. You're scaling. Okay. You know, somebody told me one day, they said, man, if you could just bottle yourself up and duplicate yourself, you'd be worth billions. And I was like, yeah, you're right, man. How do I do that? And I started asking myself, how can I duplicate myself? Well, you could do it through other people. You could do it through partners. You could do it through employees. You could get a second job. You could get a third job. Or you could look for some technology out there that would actually duplicate what you do. And guys, AI, you don't need to wait for AI. I don't know why everybody's so excited about AI. I'm like, God damn, the technology exists. You just got to get yourself, figure out what your pitch is, figure out what your offer is, figure out what your pricing is, figure out how to make it super compelling, practice. The team will help you. The team will help you guys figure out all these pieces that you're not sure about. Oh, by the way, let me just say, you're not going to be confident until you do this. And by the way, no matter how confident you are the first time, by the 10th time, you're going to be more confident. And let me just say this. There's presentations that I thought I was terrible on that did better than presentations that I thought I was great on. So don't rate your presentation on how you felt. Pete, have you ever done a terrible presentation that converted better than a great presentation?
Well, terrible. I like Pat Quinn says, if you want a standing ovation, then you're in this for the wrong reason. You actually want people to take action because you ain't changing their lives unless they take action. So yeah, I felt like, oh crap, that I wasn't the highest rated speaker, and then I'm like, but I sold more than anybody else. What happened there? What happened there? So yeah, Grant, for sure.
Steven wants to know if there's a money back guarantee.
We got a double guarantee. Come out, go through the system, come to the 2-day workshop. And if you're not happy, we'll give you, by the end of the workshop, we'll give you a money back guarantee and a credit towards a portion of your travel. So 100%.
Lisa says, we're just starting a new consulting company. I want my partner to do this. How much is it for us? $2,000.
Yep.
You get 2 of them for $2,000, $997 twice.
And that'll get them 2 tickets to 10X Stages workshop. Guys, y'all, October, we got one in November. We got one in January.
Yeah, but I would just worry about the October right now. I wouldn't worry about January. I wouldn't worry about all that. You guys just figure out October. If you guys are, if you're 1/10 as effective as I was on my first one, 1/10 on half of what I collected. The other guy collected half. I collected half. If you make 1/10, you get all your money back on the first event you did. If you're 1/10 as good as I am, all you got to do is show up, guys. You just got to show up with an offer sometime. Like, when are you coming to Romania? I was there a couple years ago. I was in Bucharest. And look, guys, if you can't travel in October or November, the 2 dates we have for you, we're doing it online too, right, Pete?
We got some coming up. That we don't have those dates released because we want them in the room, Grant. So the first ones coming up are in the room, but we'll have some of those out soon.
Okay, good. So you guys that can't travel, we'll get you handled too. Yeah, this offer's a no-brainer. The couple things you want to hit on with your offer is FOMO. Fear of losing out, right? Fear of missing out. Like, guys, if you don't do this, somebody's going to do it. It's not whether we're going to hit our numbers. How many of you think that we'll hit our target? Yeah, Carmen said, I think you will hit your targets. We always hit our targets, and we just keep working until we hit it. So this is what we're going to show you. We're going to show you how to have that kind of tenacity. Number 2, the second thing you need to have in your offer is not just FOMO. A lot of people know how to get the FOMO in. You got to get urgency in. Urgency. Why should I do it right now? Okay. Yeah, but the bigger the audience, Andrews says, yeah, your audience is so big, you'll hit your target. No, bro. Look, as your audience gets bigger, your targets get bigger. Like targets are targets, right? So you got 10 people show up, your target's 2. If 100 people show up, your target's 20. So you're going to come up short on 2, and you're going to come up short on the 20. So my point is, what you got to have your FOMO in, you got to have your urgency in, you have to have your pricing right. The 4th thing you got to have is you got to have what I call SID. Stupid if I don't. How do you get an offer so stupid? And that most of the time, that's just building out your inventory, working with Pete and the team to figure out what is my offer really, really. Not the price. We've never bought a price, by the way. Notice how little we even talk about the price. The pricing has nothing to do with the FOMO. Pricing has nothing to do with the value. Pricing never has anything to do with Sid. Stupid if I don't. So when I go to my team and I'm like, guys, what's the stupid if I don't? Oh, the price. No, that is never it. Well, it's the stack offers. No, Sid never has anything to do with the stack of the offers. The guarantee. No, Sid is not about the guarantee. Like, if you guys don't understand that, you have to come to this. The website, the link's up there, grantcardone.com/1 minute, guys. In 1 minute, the price will go to $29.95 as fast as my team can change it. Thank Pete. 1 minute, guys. In 1 minute, the price is going to go up. So this is your last chance. That's urgency to take advantage of the lower price. If you wait and have to talk to your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or your dog or the bank or dude, then you're going to pay $3,000. Let me just tell you this, same guarantee, $3,000. You still got the guarantee. $3,000. You're still going to learn how to do webinars. $3,000. You're still going to make money. So what? It's tax deductible. Whether you pay $1,000 or $3,000, it's tax deductible. You're writing it off either way. And you are going to learn how to get into the webinar business. Okay. If you're an actor and actress, you'll pay $3,000 every day of the week to get acting classes. Plumber, contractor. If you're a bartender, you'll probably pay, I don't know, $400 or $500 to get a license. We're going to show you guys how to do from home with a light, with a camera, how to take your computer. What's a computer cost, Pete? $2,000?
1,500, $2,000.
This is $1,000 right here, plus $200 a month. I'll show you how to turn this into $1 million right here. That's what our damn ad should have been, by the way.
It should. That's a great hook.
Dude, I'll show you how to give me that little tripod over there, Sabrina, please. I'll show you how to turn this bullshit phone. Okay. And this tripod's $29. I'll show you how to take this, okay, throw it up on here. Let's see if I can get this thing to work. Because this is what this is how I do webinars just like this sometimes. I'm on my computer right now, but I'll show you how to do this, and that light behind me. The light was $19 from Amazon. It makes me look fresh. In a t-shirt, okay? And I'll show you how to turn these 3 devices into $1 million. Okay. All right, guys, we're running out of time on this right now. So again, I'm going to give you 2 minutes more just to go ahead and hit it because I've been trying to entertain you. God bless you guys. Peace, love, and cash flow. By the way, the best cash flow in the world is from real estate. The second best cash flow is from them damn webinars. Hey, Pete, great job, buddy.
Hey, thanks, G. Thanks for showing up, man. What a treat for the people. I wasn't expecting you back yet.
Yeah, well, hey, Pete, I appreciate you, sharing with people on a Saturday, and I know a lot of people missed it Wednesday, and I appreciate you coming back in here and making sure the people that missed it were able to get back in here. Sid means stupid if I don't. Okay. Now, Sid is for you saying I'm stupid if I don't. And I'm just going to tell you this. Sid, stupid if you don't is SIYD, much like an STD. And you would be stupid if you don't do this offer. Okay. It's $12,000, guys. We're doing it for $997. There's a guarantee with it and a free workshop. You're stupid if you don't. I'm just saying. I don't think you're stupid, but if you don't do this, somebody in your lineage was stupid, and they dropped it into your genetics. Gary Brecka would say you have a genetic break. God bless you guys.
See you, dude.